Over the past several weeks, we've been talking about earning more money on the side. We've discussed coming up with a plan, marketing yourself, and pitching your idea. So what do you do when you finally land a face-to-face meeting? What do you say in that critical moment? Well, here to help us lock down that potential new client is Ramit Sethi, ABC contributor and author of I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Hi there, Ramit. Thanks for joining us again.
Sure.
So this is the crucial moment, right? I mean, you've done everything up to this point. Now you've got a potential client in front of you, and you've got to make your pitch, right?
Yep.
How do you do that? What are the steps?
Well, what most people do is they go in there, they sit down, they're feeling good, they're feeling a little nervous, and all of a sudden they just start blabbing. Oh, listen to this, this is what I can do for you. Buy my services. And that's exactly the wrong thing to do. We've all been on the end of that, we don't want that. What you should instead do, it's a little counterintuitive. 70 to 80% of the time in that meeting, you want to be asking them questions, learning about what are their needs, what are their challenges, what keeps them up at night, and just be quiet and let them talk so you can start to understand what their real problems are.
It sounds like you're auditioning for the role of therapist, though.
Part of it is. Sales is part therapy, absolutely.
So you got to get them to, what, first lower their guard and think this is a person that really understands me?
No, you don't have to pretend. You really do have to understand them.
Right,
okay. So you need to use the language they use. You need to be understanding exactly what their challenges are.
So you're asking them a bunch of questions about themselves and their needs and what they want. At what point do you turn the tables and say, and here's what I can do for you?
So as soon as you feel like you really understand what their challenges are and you understand how you can help them, then you can start suggesting things that you can do for them. Now, one of the ways we like to do this is we call it the briefcase technique. So we have actually thought, before we go into a meeting, we'll say, oh, what could this person's potential problems be, challenges? And we've drafted up a 1 or 2 page document. So we'll very theatrically pull it out of our briefcase and say, hey, you know, it's interesting you've told me this. This is what I'd suggest for the next couple months.
So this is a document, though, that you came up with on your own before talking to the potential client. So it's your sort of assumptions of what he might need. Okay, gotcha.
Because remember, 70 to 80% of the work is done before you ever get in that room. Now, you might have some additions based on that conversation, but you've done a lot of work beforehand.
So the client is sort of wowed. Oh, look, they came to this meeting prepared.
I've done it before, and you should see their jaws. They just drop. It's unbelievable.
I love it. So, but I want to get back to the questions and the trying to figure them out. Like, do you run the risk of appearing a little sleazy if you're kind of, open up to me and, hey, let me tell you, I've got just what you need?
Well, when we think of salespeople, we always think of these kind of slick-haired, business card dropping, sleazy kind of guys, and you absolutely do not want to be that. A real salesperson is not trying to convince anyone to do something they don't want. Last night, I actually spoke to one of my Earn 1K students, and she told me something remarkable. She told me that she's paying $1,000 a month for her personal trainer, and she said, I wouldn't even mind paying more. They're getting me such incredible results.
Wow.
That's because her personal trainer understands what her challenges are and what her goals are. And that, when you can understand that, price is a mere triviality.
That's amazing. Okay, so here we are. You've brought out your piece of paper. You've written down, this is what I think your needs are, and this is what I think I can do for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then the client has a chance to go over it. And so when do you actually make the sale? Like, when do you reel them in?
Well, so you have been reeling them in all through the week, through the month, whatever.
Right.
You go in there and you say, this is the thing I can do for you. Notice you're not even talking about rates, you're not talking about any of that. You're talking about how you can solve their problems. And this is so different than what most people think. When they think of selling, they think, let me jam something down your throat. But that's not the case. Let me understand your problems, and then let me offer some solutions. And when I get buy-in, when you say, oh, I would really like that, and that would be amazing, could we get this done by December? All of a sudden now we're saying we. And now you've already pretty much closed the sale.
Now, you also, though, say you have to be cautious during this whole exchange to not be too me-focused, right?
This is the #1 mistake people make. Is, I call it my modestly titled Ramit's #1 mistake of marketing, which is nobody cares about you. They don't care about you, what you can do. As a client, I only care about me.
Right.
Oh, so you're a dog walker? Well, tell me how that's going to help me in my life. Right? So you always have to be connecting it back to me.
And now you have a technique called DIFT that you guys teach, that you teach at Earn 1K.
Yep.
Tell us about DIFT.
DIFT, one of my favorites, it's do it for them. So a busy client doesn't actually want to have to make a lot of decisions. They certainly don't want to have to do any work. That's why they want to pay you. So when I come in with my briefcase technique and I say, here's what I suggest over the next 60 days, what's this busy person thinking? He's thinking, wow,
great.
They did it for me. And therefore, I'd like to sign a very large check so I can just go back to living my life. Do it for them in every aspect of your negotiation.
So how much time elapses from this conversation, which starts out of, this is my timeline, this is when I'd like us to get this done, to here's my price?
So it could be the same day.
Okay.
Sometimes it could be that they say, you know, let me take a look at this and let's talk in a couple days. But I will tell you something. If you have someone who's interested in you, they're not going to dilly-dally around for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If somebody is interested in your services and you've done a great job selling, they're going to call you the next day or the day after. It's going to be quick.
That's my next question. Is it a don't call us, we'll call you type of thing? Say you've had this great meeting, you really connected, you can tell the client is almost there, but he says, you know what, let me just think about it, I'll call you back.
Yep.
Now, do you then go back and resist the urge to keep calling him up?
So let's fall back on DIFT. Do
Okay.
it for them.
Okay.
This busy person is going to get really busy,
Right.
and they're going to forget, what are you going to do for them? What you could say in that negotiation is, hey, why don't you take a look at this document? I'm actually going to send you 3 more ideas based on what we discussed, and I'll send those to you by tomorrow, and I'll give you a call the day after. And what does the busy person think?
Great.
Great. I don't have to do anything. I already love this person.
Right. All right. So the sale is made practically.
Yeah, I mean, it's practically done for you.
Yeah.
You're not going in there, you're not sleazeballing it at
No.
all. You're just helping them.
All right. Ramit Sethi, thank you so much. Before we go quickly, any other major mistakes you see that people make besides being too me focused?
They talk too much.
They talk
Just
too
be
much.
quiet in the meeting and listen.
Keep cool, right? Keep cool. It works in life. Thank you, Ramit Sethi.